Morning peeps, I'm back, and what a stressful, eventful game week 31 turned out to be, didn't it, with the captaincy. Very, very stressful. Honestly, I was in a right state this morning, because I had to go to work, so I couldn't watch the Newcastle game. I saw Isaac was starting, and I was terrified, because I captained Salah. About half people captained Salah, half captained Isaac. And when they conceded those early 2 goals, I thought there was going to be an avalanche of goals for Isaac. But somehow he blanked, and his owners must have ended the game week feeling just a bit down about that, I think, because that was such an opportunity for them to smash the Salah captainers, and it didn't materialise, did it? As for those of us that captained Salah, we probably ended mightily relieved at the end of it all. But it wasn't easy. 2 days, it's very, very stressful. Very stressful, peeps. It really was. It makes a huge difference, doesn't it? If Isaac had got 12 points or whatever instead of 2, that makes quite a big difference to rank. As it was, I've had a very good week. I've ended up at 104k in the top. Finally, in the top 1%, where I belong. But we're going to have to improve. We're going to have to improve, peeps, because we want better than this. 7 weeks to go. It's looking good. I was actually surprised at how far up, just for having Murphy and Livramento, because I sort of assumed everybody had them. Do you know what I mean? You sort of get in that social media bubble where everyone's wild-carded and everyone's gone Isaac, Murphy, Livramento, haven't they? But it's quite surprising how much you improve just from being normal. And there's always a temptation to think that you have to do something extreme to rise the ranks. But I just picked the same wild card as everyone else, basically. And I guess all of us have done pretty well, haven't we? Although I'm going to show you one team that didn't in a minute when we go and have a look at the Content Creator League. And one team that benched Murphy, and that would be absolutely gutting, wouldn't it, if you bench Murphy this week? And then we're going to have a look at a team in my mini league that played their bench boost this week, because we haven't seen too many people play it yet, have we? But somebody played it, and somebody did pretty well out of it, playing it in game week 31. So we'll do a quick review of what's what. My Palace defenders are all wrong. Munoz got the goal, didn't he? And Eze got the points. Absolutely useless. Saliba, Arsenal, not looking great defensively at the moment, are they, without Gabriel? And rotation for Arsenal could be a bit of an issue. Guardiola, very good. Didn't expect that. That was another one. I went up, got a really good green from when Guardiola got the 9 points. And I just assumed again that everybody had him. Once you get up to 100k, you think everyone's going to have these people, but they don't. I think a lot of it is still teams, not so much dead teams, but people that have just captained Salah all season. And they're still up there, but they're gradually coming back now, coming back through the field. Palmer, very disappointing, didn't even start. Keep him for Ipswich, obviously. Murphy was ridiculous. I got him because he had a double. If Gordon had been fit, most people probably would have got Gordon, wouldn't they? And it's kind of classic FPL that everybody buys Murphy in the week where he gets 16 points, so this is what happens, isn't it? Mateta, last week everyone was saying he was useless, but he got 8 points this week. Still outplayed by Evan Nielsen though, wasn't he? People that had Evan Nielsen. Savinho didn't even start. Now Saka and Palmer, honestly, I think, Saka and Foden, don't know, Pete. So we're going to have a look at the Content Creator League and we'll talk about players in that. Where are we? Let's have a look this week, because Andy was top with 70 points this week. Fair score, but all the way down to 7th place. You see that? Where I am this week. 60. So there's only 10 points between the top 7 teams, because you've all got the same team just about. Look, half of them captained Isaac and half captained Salah. So Andy did Gabriel to Saliba. Livramento, Murphy, Evan Nielsen was a big one for him. He benched Guardiola. So this is probably why I rose in rank with Guardiola, I think, because quite a few people did bench him. Evan Nielsen's done really well for a couple of weeks for those that went with him. It's the main reason he's got 70. Then Harry, who used his assistant manager chip. Now I'll tell you something about this. He's kind of he actually used a transfer to take out a Newcastle defender so that he could activate his chip on Newcastle. I think Boone got 6. Hal got 11. I mean, for a lot of people, I'm glad I didn't play my assistant manager, because I would have played it on Newcastle and I wouldn't have had Livramento. And Livramento got exactly the same points as Hal this week. So really, the assistant manager chip would have just been wasted. Wouldn't it? So that's the thing. It's kind of good to get points on it, but it costs points as well. Like, he used a transfer to get rid of Burn so he could play his assistant manager chip, and he didn't even play Konsa, who he did it. He did another transfer to get Milenkovic in, who got 1 point. But this is why I didn't play my assistant manager chip, because it's a double-edged sword. You know, the ones that played it in 24, I think, ended up doing quite well, didn't they? Because, you know, we'll see how he does next week. I mean, at least they won 3-0. But, you know, not having Livramento, it's actually Burn in his case. But it does make a difference, doesn't it? Takes away. So it's not quite as good as it looks as assistant manager chip sometimes. So, again, Murphy, Isaac, and, well, that's it, Murphy and Isaac. So when we go down to Az, we've got 65. All the usual suspects, Murphy, Livramento, nothing unusual here to note, nothing on the bench. Fabio, 63. Oh, bench Murphy. He benched Murphy. He's not the only one here either. Wow. So he benched Murphy and played Sarr instead. You know, Sarr is a blooming... I don't know how many weeks I've had Sarr, but I missed all his points and sold him about a month ago and just bought him back from his 2 pointers again. But he's causing problems, isn't he? He's causing problems. Like, people missed out on Murphy. I mean, should you bench Murphy against Leicester instead of Sarr against Southampton? I suppose it's a tricky call, but if I had Eze, I think I would have played Murphy just for the coverage. You know what I mean? I think I would have played Murphy in this example if I had Eze as well. But I mean, it's obviously a close call. You know, Fabio's a good manager. But that would be horrible, wouldn't it? Leaving 16 points on the bench. Yet he's still got 63. He would have had 77 he would have had if he'd played Murphy instead of Sarr, you know, because he's got Evan Nielsen as well. So that would be pretty gutting, wouldn't it? Then we got Wag on 61, used a wild card this week. Same as everyone. She's got Evan Nielsen as well. Evan Nielsen and Mateta. Oh, she doesn't do City. She's got no Man City players. but she got 61 anyway this week. It's going to be interesting to see how she does in the double with no Man City players, but we shall see. So they've got 61, usual suspects. Then we've got Late Riser, who benched Sire and played Murphy, you see, so he did the right thing. I mean, if he'd done it the other way around, he'd have been kicking himself with 47 points. So, you know, tough call, obviously. And we see my team, and we go on to Bakar, who's another one who benched Murphy. So that's two of them benched Murphy, and another one with Sire and Eze. You know, if I just had Sire, I could understand benching Murphy, because you'd want some of that highly owned Crystal Palace midfield. Whereas if you've got Sire and Eze, would you bench Murphy? I don't know. But he's another one with Evan Nielsen, so he's still done well. Evan Nielsen, very popular amongst the what do you call it? The algorithm set. So Mark, not done fantastic. Doesn't have any Newcastle defenders. Oh, he's got Pope, but he benched him. He benched Pope and Eze. So he played Sire over Eze. Sire's so I'm sure Eze's better than Sire, though, isn't he? He has to be better than Sire, surely. I don't get this loving with Sire at all. You know, I mean, I got him in because I just wanted 3 Palace assets, but and didn't have enough money for Eze. But surely Eze is better than Sire. But he benched Eze and Pope anyway. And even benching Pope when you're playing Leicester, who haven't scored for like 8 weeks, seems a bit odd, doesn't it? But, you know, maybe there's logic to it. Now we've got one at the bottom who's had a shocker, an absolute shocker. I mean, you can say all these players, teams here, have done reasonably well. But Joe has had an absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare. 38 points. Because he doesn't have Livramento, and more than that, he doesn't have Murphy. He got Gordon in on his wild card and has benched him. So whether Gordon's coming back, we don't know. But he's going to need Gordon to outperform Murphy, isn't he? Because it's cost him a lot of points this week, an absolute lot of points, 28 points. I mean, if you look at the overall now, he's dropped back. He's dropped right back. I'm in third now. I've overtaken Joe. Overtaken Joe, and I'm ahead of Andy and Bakar. So it's not doing too badly now. And myself and Fabio, we're the only 2 that still have our assistant manager chips left. We're obviously both saving them until Gameweek 35. So, what can you say, peeps? What can you say? You know, well, I'll tell you what we'll have a look at now. We'll have a quick look at a... This is my head-to-head league. See Steve-O's in this one, 61 points. Nima's in it with 65. You'll all probably know them. Dred's in it. He's got 45. Bateman, 56 this week. You'll all know those managers. Hindu Monkey here, Simba the Cat, 53 points. But one of them got 78. Dave got 78 because he used his bench boost. A lot of people didn't even think of using one this week, did they? Looked a tricky week. Looked a tricky week. But Dan Burn, Rogers and Wan-Bissaka. So 17 points from a bench boost. I think you can say 17 points in this environment with our bench boosts at the moment, with no double game weeks really to utilise on them, 17 points is actually a pretty decent total, isn't it? I'd be happy with 17, I think, for my bench boost. So, Wan-Bissaka, yeah, he had a decent fixture, I guess. So, but Burn and Rodgers, so it came good. It's a lot of luck, isn't it, in the bench boost, really? You know, because you have to hope the likes of Foden start and but nobody, you know, Isaac even, because Isaac was a doubt, wasn't he? And there's a lot of people debating whether Isaac was the best captain. You know, they're all saying now he was obviously the best and all this. But, I mean, he was an injury doubt, wasn't he? He tweaked his groin. There was no guarantee he was going to play or even play more than 45 minutes. I mean, if I was the manager, I might well have taken him off after 45 minutes. I mean, they were 3-0 up. What was the point of keeping him on the pitch? Really? I mean, what was the point? Why risk losing your star striker when he could have just brought the other one on, couldn't he? Give him a run out for 45 minutes. So I'm quite surprised Eddie Howe kept Isaac on as long as he did, to be honest with you. So he was risky. And the people that are all into X minutes is their big mantra. Why have they bought Saka and why did they captain Isaac? Because obviously Salah's expected minutes were a lot higher than Isaac's were. And he was yellow flagged. So I was quite surprised at just how many did actually captain Isaac this week. And I was a bit worried about it, to be honest, because I just wanted to play safe with captaincy, and it wasn't really at all safe, especially after Salah blanked. It's quite blooming scary. So we move on. Let's have a look. By the way, peeps, I'm on a show on Thursday morning my time, which is Wednesday evening UK time. I'm on Let's Have a Beers show. I don't know what it's called, but I'm on it anyway on Wednesday evening. I think it's 6 p.m. Wednesday evening UK time. It's going out live, so have a look out for that. This is why I don't want to talk too much about stuff today, because I'd just be, you know, I don't want to talk about too much, because then I won't have anything to say on Wednesday night. But we finally arrived at the double. Finally arrived. And most of us have got similar looking teams, I guess. Palmer is in the last chance saloon. I think even if he does well, he's still going to end up leaving my team, even if he gets 2 or 3 goals. So this team looks decent. Obviously Livramento, Murphy and Isaac are now very much for 3 Newcastle players. But those that don't have Newcastle players are going to gravitate towards. Not too happy with my choices for Palace, but given the fixtures they've got, I can't see too many returns for any of them, to be quite honest with you. And if I knew Savinho was going to play 90 minutes against Palace, then I'd even consider playing him instead of Sarr, because Sarr is a complete waste of space, and I wish I'd never got him, you know, just because of these doubles. But I mean, what's he going to get away at City and Newcastle? You know. But I'm benching Savinho because we don't know he's going to start. I mean, he played 0 minutes this week. A lot of people will have a massive bench headache this week. I mean, supposing that you own Rodgers, for example, away at Southampton, instead of Savinho, which a lot of people do, who would you bench? Who on earth would you bench? I mean, you'd have to bench Sarr, wouldn't you, I think? Or would you bench Rodgers at Southampton? I guess you could on the grounds that he might be rested or whatever. But there's going to be some very different, difficult... I was even looking at taking out Savinho and taking a punt on one of the Brighton midfielders because they've got Leicester this week. Mitoma. I was thinking about Savinho out, Mitoma in, just for a punt against Leicester. Because, I mean, Brighton could smash Leicester this week. But then I thought, well, who do I bench? You know, because obviously, I mean, Sar's the obvious choice, but most people are playing him, and it is a double game week, so it is risky. So really, I'm just going to have to stick with these guys. If you're on a bench boost, though, I'm kind of wishing I'd targeted 32 as a bench boost now. Because, you know, like I said, Brighton at home to Leicester. I mean, you could risk Pedro. I don't know if he's back or not. But him, Mitoma, and his Stupinyan's one I'm considering as well. Chelsea are home to Ipswich, you know, so you've got the likes of Cucurella, Enzo Fernandez, who's like really cheap. I did look at doing that in 32 in one of my drafts. But it looks a good opportunity to play your bench boost in 32. You know, I'm not set up for it, unfortunately. But I'm still considering Gabriel to his Stupinyan. But then I have to bench Saliba, which is why it's a lot better on a bench boost, isn't it, doing something like that? A lot better, because I don't want to go without, don't really want to go without Arsenal coverage at all in defence, and I suspect Saliba's not going to be rotated, is he? But if I was taking a punt on a defender, you've got Cucurella, Chelsea at Ipswich, or you've got Estupinian against Leicester, and that is the side where Leicester are the weakest, I think. And the Stupinian's pretty attacking, isn't he? So, like I said, I'm probably going to save, because the more transfers I've got for game week 33, the better, to be honest. So it looks like a good week to save. But if you have got your bench boost, I think it's a very good week to play it. Whereas mine won't be too bad, I guess. Have to decide whether we're still getting rid of Murphy, don't we? I mean, if he has another couple of really good games, then it's going to be tempting to keep him, despite his fixtures, because it does at least save a transfer. But I strongly suspect I will be doing Palmer to Saka. Probably Murphy. Or even that. No, I can't take out Saar. I really want to. I tell you, he's so annoying. It will be Murphy to Rodgers, probably, as a defensive move, which is really what it is. I'm trying to find a little prick. Where is he? Right, so there he is. So here coming on my wild card, on my bench boost. Leaves me one more transfer to replace Gabriel. And I was thinking either, who could I get for a defender in 33? There's always the Liverpool ones. Virgil van Dijk away at Leicester is an option. Or go cheap and get Konate. Even Man United defender Gw looks interesting. Another Arsenal defender maybe. Or even just get Konsa, who's got a double, doesn't he? You know, let's just get Konsa. Boring. Boring, peeps. Let's get Konsa in. We'll just get Konsa, I think. But, you know, that's 2 weeks away still. But that looks pretty good, doesn't it, for a game week 33 bench boost? You know, I mean, it does help having 2 fixtures, because there's less chance that one of your players won't play anything at all. You know, like they can do on a single game week, can't they? So anyway, peeps, that's about it, I think. You know, I'm very, very happy to have this green arrow this week. I always thought game week 31 was going to be tricky. And it started tricky by having the wrong Palace players. But it's turned out better than I could ever have hoped, you know. And I think this week coming is like the last week where I don't have a chip in play until game week 38, you know. But I mean, it is a double game week, isn't it? So that's kind of like a chip almost, isn't it? Almost like a chip. But I've got the bench boost in 33, free hit in 34, which is going to be epic. We can get all those players in that we could ever imagine we might want. Then 35, 36 and 37 is the assistant manager chip. And any week now you get a green arrow is fantastic because you're up against people using chips. You know, we've already seen that Harry was using his assistant manager chip, and that guy in the my head-to-head league used his bench boost. So there are people using chips every week now. So if you get a green arrow, I mean, it's even better than it looks. So it's fantastic. And I think really my score, as we saw in that content creator league, was really just average. You know, I think 60 points was average, wasn't it, really? Pretty average. You know, everyone that used their wild card in game week 30 or 31 probably got around the same score, you know, unless you're really unlucky like Joe. Then, I mean, it's pretty hard, isn't it? You've only got like one or two players different than everyone else, and you end up getting absolutely spanked. And it can come out of nowhere, And the Palace players are particularly dangerous for that, aren't they? You know, I mean, if somebody like Munoz gets a couple of goals in the double game week, or Eze gets a couple of goals, and suddenly, even though your team is almost identical to other teams, you can actually end up getting yourself in trouble. Or the wrong captain, like us Salah people, very nearly got badly punished this week, didn't we? I'll show you something on Reddit before I go. Where are we? Here. Every single premium blanked this game week. Mateta was the highest priced player that got a return. Look, Salah 2, Palmer 1, Saka 1, Son 1, Isaac 2, De Bruyne 3, Foden 1. I'll tell you what, Foden, I've been saying for ages, and a lot of other people have too, something is not right with Foden. You know, people still board him in because they're remembering last season's Foden. That's the problem. And this is, I think we can call this a weakness, an FPL weakness, where you bring someone in because of their past history, even though the evidence, the physical evidence of like watching, and probably even the stats, will show you that they are not the same player that they were, and yet you ignore all that out of hope, basically, because it's Foden and he used to be good. I know he did score for England, didn't he? Might have helped convince people. But bringing someone like that in, which really is against the evidence of your eyes, I think we can put that down as a mistake that you need to learn from in FPL. So I think we can. As for Saka, I can get that. I can sort of get why people bought Saka, because it saved a transfer down the line. And it looked like he was coming back. But I think it was premature. It was premature. I think it would have been better, funnily enough, as you were bringing him in on a game week 31 wild card, would have been better than a game week 31. But even that didn't work, did it? And with that Real Madrid game coming up, there's no guarantee that he's going to be back getting flogged by Arteta for the rest of the season like he normally is, because they've got nothing to play for now, have they? Nothing to play for. Why not give Nweri a bit more development, you know, and make sure Saka's good for next season, basically. So obviously he's still going to get quite a few minutes, but I don't think we're going to see the same 90-minute Saka that we're used to for the rest of this season. As for that prick Salah, well, you know, I mean, he does have Leicester coming up, doesn't he? After that, I think it's game on. You know, I mean, I think if you want to get rid of Salah after game week 33, then why not? Because he's not, you know, Liverpool are feeling the pressure a bit. Maybe once they've won the title, maybe they'll actually perform better, you know, because the pressure will be off and there'll be more free-flowing, maybe. I don't know. But he's certainly at the moment, you know, the signs have been there for a while. I mean, for a long time he was getting points, but the performances weren't quite great, were they, the last 4 or 5 performances? But now he's stopped getting the points, which isn't good, is it? So Watkins was another to blank. He's another one. We just don't know about rotation. Fernandes, and at least he's playing well, Fernandes, isn't he? He is playing well, and he always plays. Unfortunately, though, they don't have a double game week. Odegaard always flatters to deceive anyway. Mbeumo blanked again. And then Mateta right at the bottom. So all the ones above him all blank this week, which is quite unusual, isn't it? But anyway, peeps, that's about it, I think. I had something on the edge of my mind that I was going to talk about then, but I've forgotten what it was. Right, so let's see. So I'm on that show anyway on Wednesday evening UK time, so catch that at 6 o'clock. God knows what it'll be about, but I'm sure we'll think of something. 5 a.m. my time, so I'm going to go for a run at 4 a.m. I'll do a 5k at 4 a.m, come back at 4:30, sit down, and then I should be, you know, I'll be lively then, even though it's 5 a.m. I'll be on that top form. Not like now, peeps, you know, because I've been working all day. It was a shocking day I've had today, honestly. So I couldn't even watch a Newcastle match, you know, I was at work, swearing at the phone, you know, swearing at Howe. I was going, get that prick off. You know, why is he still on? You know, why didn't he come off at half time? I just don't understand why Isaac did not come off at half time. Honestly, it gave me like another 30 minutes anxiety seeing him on there for that time. I couldn't believe he didn't score. I tell you what, if you did captain Isaac, you must be a bit gutted, because what we've been seeing lately, though, is teams like they destroy Leicester in the first half and like get 2-3-0 up, and then they don't bother after that. It's like being torturing a sick cat, isn't it? You know, once you're 2 or 3 up against them, just leave them alone, because you won. But maybe he's thinking about goal difference, because like for Newcastle, goal difference could probably be quite important, couldn't it? And once I get to my 35 assistant manager chip, I'm going to be targeting all those teams that are after a top 5 finish or a European spot, because the bottom of the league is gone now. You know, even the likes of Palace and that are going to be on the beach soon. So the only action is around that 5th spot for the Champions League, isn't it, really? It's like your Forest, Chelsea, City, Newcastle. Maybe Fulham and Brighton might kind of be after a European spot in the other competition. But they're the teams that I'm going to have to target for the assistant manager chip. And the rest of them I've kind of given up. They're tired. They're looking tired, aren't they, a lot of teams? A bit like myself. After the day I've had today. But that's what... they're the teams are going to have to start targeting. And they're the teams that need a win. So I'm looking forward to playing that assistant manager chip once everyone's used theirs. You know, because so far, to be honest, it's not hurting me, the fact that I haven't used it, because I still seem to be getting green arrows all the time. But it's going to be very difficult to get one this week, because even though it's a double, A lot of people are using their bench boost this week, and the ones that are using their assistant manager have got 2 fixtures, haven't they? 2 fixtures. Now, Newcastle, United and Palace, they're not a given. They're not a given, are they? United are playing pretty well at the moment. They're definitely improving under Amorim. You can see the signs. The defence has got a lot better. And they are improving, slowly but surely. So they're not easy fixtures for Newcastle, but Newcastle are one of the teams that need to keep winning. So I'd expect them to win those games, but it's not a given. As for Palace, I would not go anywhere near a table bonus on Palace. Some people will. I think they did all right, didn't they? And they got 10 points or whatever for the Brighton game, so they're off to a decent start. But they're going to be difficult games for Palace, those two. Difficult matches. As for Palmer, really do want some points from him. He's not quite a differential yet, but he's getting there. And other than that, everything looks good. So catch that show, peeps. Wednesday evening, Thursday morning my time, if you're in this part of the world, although you're not going to be up like me, you're probably not going to be up at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. going for a run, are you? But I will, because I love running early in the morning. Absolutely love it, peeps. It's so, 4 o'clock, there's nobody up. I can run along the road instead of a footpath, and the moon will be out, and excellent, excellent, peeps. Just what we like. So I shall talk to you next week. It'll be now, won't it? After this double game week. I don't even know when it starts. Let's have a look. First game, Man City. Well, we don't like those, do we? We don't like those because, who are people going to be benching this week, we wonder? Who are they going to be benching this week? At least Arsenal are a last kick-off on the Saturday evening UK time, so there's less likely people are going to have Noah Saka's starting or not, because that lineup for Arsenal is pretty important, isn't it? Because it's Champions League, so we really have no clue who is going to play in that game. So if people do get an unfair advantage, it is actually quite unfair, isn't it? Especially for people that are playing a bench boost, who might find out that someone interesting starting in the Arsenal lineup. Then it can give them an unfair advantage, and we don't want that, do we? So it goes on, let's see, so when's Newcastle playing? So they're playing on Sunday afternoon, and then Wednesday evening. So there's a reasonable gap before that Newcastle game. I'll tell you what, right, the clocks have changed in the UK, right? So this is now the times that the games are on for me. And the Sunday games are on Monday morning here. And I can't watch them. I just can't watch them, because I work on Mondays. And they're like 1 in the morning. And even the next one, 3:30, because the clock's changed like a 2-hour swing in the last couple of weeks. But I tell you what, it was so much less stressful for me this Sunday, the Sunday games. If I'd been awake, I would have seen that Palmer wasn't started. I'd have had to watch Salah blank against whoever it was they played. And it would have been a terrible start to my week, it would have been. But because I slept through it all, and I woke up and I thought, Salah's blank, whatever, I'll go to work. But it's so much easier than having to sit there and watch the drama unfold. You know what I mean? Because I would have been really peeved off on Monday with Salah blanking and Palmer not starting. But as it was, it doesn't matter. So I'll be sleeping for all these ones. Kind of annoying because it means I can't watch football. But I do get up for the 3:30 a.m. game. But these other ones, I just miss them now. This is a bit of a shame. And it also means I can't watch the deadline streams. I might better watch this one because it's kind of, I can just go to bed late. But, yeah. Anyway, peeps, I'm off. So I'll talk to you all later anyway. back next week. Watch that show. And I'm sorry there's not too much funny in this one, but honestly, I'm very tired, peeps. Very tired. So, like and subscribe, and I'll see you all Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. Well, you better ask some questions. Make sure they're good ones, peeps, because I'll be paying attention. Anyway, I'll talk to you all later, and cheers for now.